everyone, and welcome to the Pip and Pin Podcast. My name is Megan Nodecker, and I'm a knitwear designer from Abbotsford, British Columbia, Canada. You can find me on Instagram as Pip and Pin, on Ravelry as Knit Pip and Pin, and in the Ravelry group, which is also called Pip and Pin. Today is January 23rd, and it is episode 47. Thank you for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking about some finished objects, some giveaway winners, some knit-along stuff, some works in progress, and I have a couple new things to show you, so that's exciting. I'm just going to jump right in. First thing is the Rainforest knit-along ended on the 20th, so I have locked that thread, and we had some wonderful, wonderful entries. And because this was all garments, I have decided to kind of give everyone a prize. Not anything physical, but I will be sending out Ravelry codes for any of my patterns to everyone that did post something in the finished object thread. Because this was a garment knit along, I think that's a huge accomplishment. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that participated or everyone that tried and everyone that knit our new patterns. They all look wonderful. Before I reveal the winner, I'm just going to share one last time the generous gifts that I did receive for this giveaway. So the winner is going to receive 3 skeins of yarn from Sassy Strings Yarn Studio. And let's see if I can hold them all up nicely this time. There we go. So these are all from Sassy Strings Yarn Studio in Airdrie, Alberta. And these were generously donated by the dyer. This is the Ruby colorway, Vanilla Cupcake and Slate. This is her basic sock base, which is 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon, which is my favorite for socks. I really love this Vanilla Cupcake one. And I thought they just looked so nice together. I didn't want to split them up, especially because we did just come out with the Wishing Rock pattern. So I'm also going to include a copy of Wishing Rock, which is our newest shawl pattern, and it uses 3 skeins of fingering weight yarn. So you can use these all together. Sorry, it looks like it's blowing out a little bit. I don't know what the sun is doing today, but it's doing weird things. It's not sunny, it's cloudy and rainy and kind of stormy, but I feel like things are blowing out over here, so sorry about that. But anyways, I just thought these looked so nice together. I mean, you don't have to knit the Wishing Rock shawl with them, or you can, use 2 or whatever you want to do, but you're also going to be getting a copy of that pattern. And then 88 Stitches donated a copy of Making number 8, which is the Forest edition. Super jealous of this book. I kind of want to keep it. It's more than just a knitting book. It has a little bit of everything. It looks like there's some punch needle art and sewing and embroidery and knitting and crochet and just all sorts of crafty, lovely things. All about the forest. And this is what my forest looks like. If you're curious about where I live. I mean, not my forest here. I live in the city. But if I were to go out into the forest, it would look something kind of like this. And then I also have some little goodies that I'll pop in there too. So the winner was post number 4, who is JD Cran, who's Jordan from Vancouver. So super close by. That's awesome. Congrats, Jordan. I will contact you on Ravelry and get your details so I can send you that prize. Again, thanks to everyone who participated. And yeah. We do have another knit along going on right now, which is the Wintertime Mini Along. And that one's going all the way until February 14th. So we still got another couple weeks until that one ends. And that's basically all about mini skeins. For all the information, I will post a link to the Ravelry group You can read all the rules. There's not really rules. Use mini skeins. That's the rule. That one ends on February 14th, and I've been gathering some prizes for that one as well. I don't have another knit along kind of in mind right now. I would like to start another one. I feel like 2 is kind of a good number. If you have any ideas or anything, let me know, because I would like to. Maybe next week. I'll think about it this week, and I'll start another one next week about something. And then we had the giveaway. We had a giveaway on Instagram and a giveaway on this YouTube channel here. I can't remember the name of the Instagram winner. I didn't write it down. But they've already been contacted and everything anyways. But the winner of the one that was from the last episode, which was the Rhomboid hat kit with the Haynes Creek yarn, 2 pom-poms, and a copy of the Rhomboid pattern, that winner is Jennifer Corsar. So Jennifer, please get in touch with me either on Ravelry or through email, or Instagram's not the greatest, but you can do that too. Just because messages get lost there. But yeah, contact me and I will send that out to you as soon as possible. Thanks to everyone. I had a really fun time reading through everyone's comments last time, because I had asked what your favorite knit of 2019 was. I think it was favorite. I don't think I said most worn or anything, but there's a lot of repeat patterns and a lot of patterns that have been on my list to knit. Like the Weekender popped up a lot, and that's something that I've been wanting to knit for a while. So it's just, it's nice to see, like, okay, if I knit this, I'll probably get a lot of wear out of it. So that is, that's kind of all the administration stuff. That's it. Usually I talk for too long about that kind of stuff. And I think for my next knit along, I'm going to take a page out of Sam's book, who does the Hand Me My Knitting podcast. What she did is she started a new knit along, and instead of talking about it on the podcast all the time, like, because I consider this kind of like a vlog, I talk about my projects and what I'm doing and things like that. She kind of made a whole separate video for the knit along with all the instructions and the intention behind it and, all that kind of stuff. And then every time she talks about it, she's just like, if you need more information, go watch this video. And it's like a 10 or 15 minute video just about the knit along, instead of spending 10 or 15 minutes talking about it. Because I know lots of people are here for different reasons. So I might be switching things up with the way it works a little bit. Just FYI, I'm going to add some new things to the channel, I think. I'm going to start working on those soon. I'm not going to talk about them right now, but I will be adding some different content, I think. I'm not going to take this away because I really love sharing my projects with you in this kind of format, but I'm going to be adding some things. So let's talk about knitting, the actual knitting that I've been doing. I have a finished object, which I'm very excited about. I've been calling them my fox socks because this yarn is from Red Fox Fibers Wild Sock in her Grizzly colorway. This was the yarn that I wanted to be a hat. It wanted to be socks. And I'm super happy with the way they turned out. This is a new pattern that I'm working on. Obviously, they're both done. So now all I really have to do, the pattern's kind of written up. I just have to do some last minute measuring and get it out to some test knitters and do some photography, and then it's going to be a pattern. That's kind of how it goes. And so it just has these plain bits of stockinette on the bottom and the back of the leg, and then this whole column of, there's lots of different techniques in here, kind of slip stitches and cables and wrap stitches, just a whole panel down the front. And I was kicking myself kind of because of how it's not very complicated. It's just, there's a couple rows that are a little involved, and I was like, oh, am I really gonna have to do this for 2 socks? But then you get into a rhythm and it's like, oh yeah, okay, now it's they've kind of flew by after I got everything down, and it was like, okay, like let's just get this going. The one thing I'm having trouble with, and I always have trouble with this, is a name. I'm so bad at trying to think of names for things. So if you have any suggestions, I would really love to hear them. I've been kind of toying with the idea of like some animal thing, maybe like on the fox theme, or a bear because they're called grizzly. Yeah, I don't know. So if you have any ideas, I'd love to hear them. For now, box socks. That's it for finished objects. I do have some works in progress though, and some new ones, but I'm going to start with an old one first. Something that not an old one, it's quite new as well, but the one that you've seen before. This is my Once in Floral sweater. Oh my goodness. There we go. This is Once in Floral, a pattern by Maxim Sear, who's a fellow Canadian. And I love it. I'm knitting this with Sam because we are going to Portland beginning of March for the Rose City Yarn Crawl. And we're going to make these and be dorks and wear matching sweaters. And we're also knitting matching shawls. We're pretty much just going to be the same person when we're in Portland. So if you see some twins running around, that's just me and Sam, even though we don't actually look very much alike. I guess we kind of do. We're tallish, dark hair. I don't know. I'm in love with this pattern. The yarns that I'm using are Knit Pick Stroll Tweed, Welly's Heather for the black, and Oyster Heather for the white. And then Knit Picks Capretta in Embers Heather for the deep red roses. And I did do some modifications. All my notes for all of my projects, all the yarns that I use, how much I use, what needles I'm using, blah, blah, blah. All that's on my Ravelry project pages. So if you just search for Knit, Pip, and Pin, you'll be able to find me and you can click on my projects. Everything's there. But the modifications that I've made so far is I cast on the large size because I wanted a wider neckline. And then I did some mathing and only increased to the medium size. So because my gauge is looser than the pattern. So that's just how my math worked out. I'm not going to bore you with math details, but that's how it worked for me. I also added a bit of shaping kind of under the underarm here. And yes, you will notice that I have one sleeve and half a body because I decided, I do this a lot when I'm designing too. I decided I wanted to do the body and my little bit of shaping there to make sure that worked. And before I finished the body, I wanted to do a sleeve to make sure that they worked together because I'm still not 100% sure if I want to keep this shaping. So I wanted to make sure that the how loose the sleeve was going to work with the body shaping, or, just so that they would match, because I don't want a super baggy sleeve and then a fitted body, or vice versa. Vice versa is not so bad, but yeah, so I just wanted to make sure they matched before I got too far on the body. I really like how the sleeve is, so I think I'm gonna, what I'm gonna do is I think I'm going to finish this sleeve. All I have to do is the ribbing, which I've done a couple rows of, but I think I'm gonna take them out and do twisted rib instead because I find it much neater. And we're just going to finish the ribbing. And then I think I might just do the second sleeve right away before even finishing the body. And that way they're done, will be kind of cool. And then I'm going to do the collar even. It has a ribbed collar, like a folded one, which I like. I really like the look of. I like how it anchors everything. So I'm going to try to do that, but it might pull in too much for my liking. I don't know. I kind of wanted this a little bit wider. And I also saw that Jaden, who's behind She Dies Midnight Cravings with her sister, she made one of these, and she actually did like an I-cord around the top because she liked how wide it was as well. So I might do that, but I think I'll do that and then I'll finish the body, because then once the body's finished, then it's done. And with the 2 sleeves and this, I might even block it and then decide if I want to keep my waist shaping or not, you know? So that's where that's at. And I have, 5 weeks to finish it? So I feel very much on track with that. I'm using US 4 needles and fingering weight yarn, so it's going by very quickly. Like, it is a loose gauge, and I understand that because it's loose gauge, and I've used this yarn before, and it does peel a little bit. It will need more maintenance than if I was doing a tighter knit. I'm okay with that. I'd rather have, like, I don't know. And I feel like I'm gonna wear a looser kind of gauge sweater more anyways, because I get hot. So yeah, that's that. Speaking of the Rose City Yarn Crawl, they are doing a mystery knit along. So this is a pattern that I bought a couple months ago, and I didn't really have the intention of actually doing it. The pattern is called 2020 Rose City Yarn Crawl Mystery Knit Along. There's also a mystery crochet along if you're interested. And it's a pattern by Marie Green. And yeah, I wasn't originally going to do it. I just wanted it to, I really like following along with mystery knit alongs. I've really only done one other one before. It was a Stephen West one, which was fun, but I don't know. I just haven't done a lot of them, but I really love following along. So I wanted to buy the pattern so I could kind of follow along with everyone. But then the first clue came out, and I had just finished organizing all of my yarn. I had just finished that pair of socks. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to cast this on. I'm going to finish it. Or I think I was just about done that pair of socks. So I was like, I'm going to, finish this pair of socks, and then I can cast that shawl on, and then it'll be something fun to work on. And yeah, I'm really liking it so far. The yarns that I'm using are 6 and 7 fiber barley in Barista and sweet fiber sweet merino light in wood smoke. And these are 2 yarns that I happen to have in my stash. I've had them for a while. They were bought with no project in mind. And I think they're going to be really nice together. If you are working on the mystery knit along and you're not done clue 1 yet, don't look. I'll put a timestamp down below that you can click on if you want to skip seeing it, so that you can just skip on to the next part, because I'm going to be showing it right now. First, I'm going to show you the yarns, because I said the names, but I didn't actually show them to you. This one is the 6 and 7 barley in Barista. And it's this lovely single ply yarn. It's a cream base with very delicate speckles of kind of black and dark blue and dark purple. And there's a little bit of gold in there, but not too much, just enough to kind of be interesting. So it's not just a white yarn, but not so much, because the pattern said that you should be using contrasting yarns. Yeah, but I didn't want it just to be, because when you can add a couple speckles, you should just add a couple speckles. And then this is the wood smoke. This is the sweet fiber merino light in wood smoke. And this was something, I think the one that I have is a little bit more green than they usually are. I think they're usually a little browner, this colorway. And I got this in a mystery trio pack that she does occasionally. And I think they are very nice together. I think they'll just go with everything I own, which is, I've decided I just want my whole life to be that. I want everything to match everything all the time, so I don't have to think about anything. So this is the pattern so far. It has a little cast on. It says it's going to be an asymmetrical triangle. So you cast on at this end and then are working this way. There's some mosaic knitting, which is cool. I really like that. And then the rest has just been stockinette so far. So that is all of clue 1. The only thing, I really like how the yarns are together. I like how they look together. I think it's going to be neat. I might be just having more fun knitting it than I will be wearing it, but I don't know. It's a mystery. We'll see. I only say that because it's a fingering weight shawl, and I find I've been drawn to thicker shawls lately, or like doubled. Anyways, the one thing I'm having trouble wrapping my head around, I guess. Not wrapping my head around, just I'm just kind of raising a bit of an eyebrow about it, is this curl. And something like this, I know you can block out a bit, but I don't think, unless something happens to this edge, I don't think this whole thing is going to block out. So I'm a little bit worried about that, but not too much, because worst case scenario, nothing happens to it. I block it and it still curls, in which case I can just add an applied I-cord border. I'm not super worried about that. But other than that weird little curl, I am liking how this is turning out so far. And I'm really liking following along. I will make sure I post a link to the Rose City Yarn Crawl Ravelry group below, because I love going through and looking at everyone's color choices and seeing how they go together, and just reading about, I don't know, I just really like following along with mystery knit-alongs. And this time I'm actually doing it. Put that over there. Oh, and this is living in my Starlight Knitting Society bag, because I feel like that's highly appropriate. That is our place, a yarn store we are definitely stopping at when we are in Portland for the yarn crawl. And then the last thing is something that I wasn't even really on my radar to start yet, but I got it in my head. What I've been doing for my design work is to knit, not necessarily publish or write up the patterns for, but knit 2 new designs in a 3-month period, which is completely doable for me, I think. And it's coming to the end of, I've kind of already separated my months, and I have my little list of the things that I need to work on and what I need to do in which months, kind of thing. End of January is the end of this 3-month period, and I've only done 1 project. I would have had 2. I would have had them both done. And if you have watched previous episodes of the podcast, you would know that I did actually have them both done, but one of them didn't work. And I am talking about a shawl that I am knitting with this. This is yarn that I got from Fiddly Dye Works. It is her Superwash Merino Worsted in the Harper colorway, which is this beautiful, beautiful kind of tan, really warm, rich, beigey almost, with bits of gray and black and kind of orange. And it's just reminds me of rocks. I love it. And it knit up beautifully the first time, but it was totally my own. I don't even remember what happened. The edges curled, and like I tried blocking it and it just didn't block out right. And one of my edges where I was carrying the yarns just didn't look, it was just not good. So I decided to kind of keep elements of that shawl, but change it around a little bit. This yarn, I must say, held up very well to being abused by me. because I did knit it and I blocked it. And when I blocked it, I very aggressively blocked it. I stretched it to the end of its life. And I ripped it out and skeined it up, and I soaked it and dried it and just rolled it up into these balls. And it's knitting up just the same as it did the first time. So that is wonderful. And so my second attempt is looking a little like this. I just started it yesterday, so I'm not too far along yet, but I did some math, and if I knit 50 grams of worsted weight yarn, which isn't a ton, especially with the amount of time that I do knit, I can have this done by February. So I think in my last one, I had it mostly reverse stockinette, and I had a smaller panel like this kind of going down one side, and I don't think I had any, did I have any sort of edging? I don't think I did. I don't think I had any sort of edging on the sides. So what I've done this time is I've centered that. It's still the same like kind of chevron-y thing. I've just centered it and I made it bigger. And then along the sides here are seed stitch. And I've also done an I-cord edging along the sides. So I just feel like this design is a little bit, it's just more thought out. It just has some different elements. At first I was a little bit like, I missed the simplicity of the reverse stockinette, but the seed stitch is really growing on me. I think it's going to be different, but I think it's going to be beautiful because it's going to be long kind of this way, like a wrap. There's a big rectangular wrap. And I think it's going to be really nice. And it's not going to curl or do weird things. And it's I-cord. I-cord just always makes everything better. It just makes everything look so polished and lovely. And that is that for knitting. That is what I have for knitting. I haven't really, I know I said I was going to cast on a hat and I wound up the yarn. Then other things happened, like mystery shawls. But yeah, that will get done eventually, I'm sure. I did get some yarn. This is actually yarn for a design I'm going to be working on soon, in a couple months probably. I don't want to share too much about it until I actually start it, but I'll share the yarn because it's beautiful. This is, of course, Brooklyn Tweed Shelter, and this is the Artifact colorway. It's this green, really deep forest green, woolen spun, tweedy bits, sheltery shelter. And I can tell you, it's going to be a cardigan. So it's going to be a garment, and I am so excited to, I'm excited to knit it, and I'm excited to work with this yarn. I'm super grateful that, that Brooklyn Tweed sent it to me. And, I think I'm most excited though about the photo shoot. I already know what I want the pictures to look like. I already know where I want to go to take them. There's going to be ferns and green. Yeah, and I'm very excited about it. And that's all I'm going to say about it right now. But I was just so excited to get this in the mail. I can't start working on it. I have a couple other things that I have to finish up first. Before I can start that, but I'm very excited to start it. And that's it, I think. I got a book. I got a couple books actually, and I think I want to read them first before I talk about them. But one of them I got from I got all of them from my sister for Christmas, actually. And this one I just picked up the other day from the States because she sent it later. But this is The Mindfulness of Knitting. by Rachel Matthews. And this is the one I'm most excited to start reading because it's actually kind of one of the most thoughtful gifts I've ever gotten in my whole life. Because the reason it came late is she got it and then she wanted to read it. So she did. And what she did while she was reading it is wrote me notes in it and highlighted things for me. And the whole book is just filled with things. And I think that is so amazing. And I'm so excited to dig into this and read it and maybe write some of my own things in it. One of my favorite things is I buy a lot of books or usually when I buy books, I do buy them from the thrift store or used bookstore or something like that. And my favorite thing is finding notes in books, either in the book itself or somebody gives a book to somebody for Christmas or for their birthday and they write something. That's my favorite. So to have one like this that's for me, it's just amazing. I'm just really excited to read that one and read what Katie wrote for me. I have the other ones right here, so I'll show you. This is knitting from the Netherlands. Our heritage, our grandparents come from the Netherlands. So this is traditional Dutch fisherman sweaters. And the funny thing about this book is about a year ago, my aunt, I think when she was in Holland, maybe, she got this book in Dutch. And she's had it for a while. And so she showed it to me. And she actually lent it to me because it's all about the different styles of sweaters, and it has some charts and some things. And she thought, maybe I could use it for some inspiration, which, yes, absolutely. It's just all the different guys and their sweaters and their fisherman sweaters. And so I had it, but of course I couldn't read it. I don't speak Dutch. I can't read it. But Katie found one in English, and I don't even think she knew that I had the Dutch version. So I think that's also pretty cool that I get to, even though I have this book. It's on my bookcase. I should give it back to my aunt. I have it, but I've never been able to read it. So that's pretty cool. And then the last one that she found was A History of Hand Knitting. By Richard Rutt, an old library book. And this is all, full on history. There's also some charts and some things. There's pictures of real old knitted stuff. So I'm also excited to read this one because it's, what's that style called where you can kind of pin it? The Portuguese knitting? And it kind of the beginning of the book talks about, it even talks about the definitions and the techniques. And then it gets into the actual history of everything, like the French Revolution and just different periods of time. Oh, look at that. That's so cute. From the 30s, 20s, 30s. Am I right? 27. Yeah. Anyways, I think that one will be a very interesting read as well. So I have no shortage of knitting books to read in the next little while. I just need to make sure that I carve out some time to do that. Aside from that, I think that is actually it. It felt like this week just went by really fast. For whatever reason, I don't really know why. I don't know what we did last weekend. What did we do last weekend? Oh, George and I had our sleepover last weekend. So Justin was away for the weekend with his friends, and George and I had kind of a girls' weekend, which was nice. We didn't do much. I mean, it snowed, so I wasn't driving anywhere anyways. Justin was worried because he took my Jeep because they were going up a mountain, and he's like, "Oh, are you sure? You don't want it?" Because I can't drive his truck. And I was like, there's snow. Like, I'm not going anywhere anyways. The sushi place is right next door. George and I are going to get sushi for dinner and get treats and watch movies. Like, that's going to be our weekend. So that was nice to spend have a little girly weekend. And then, yeah, it's just been school and work for Justin, and they're actually home right now, which is weird. Not weird, but usually they're not home when I podcast. But I said, I wrote my notes yesterday. Georgia was kind of sick, and Justin is kind of sick too, so he just didn't go to work. And I'm like, I'm gonna film a podcast, so I kicked them into the bedroom. I think I can kind of see them there. And yeah, I'm just working really hard on getting some patterns out into the world. I want to make some different content for the podcast. I'm going to continue with this content for sure. But also maybe some more like tutorial kind of things. We'll see. So I've been buckling down a bit. I feel like December, I always kind of drop off the face of the earth. And it's taken me a little while to kind of get back. But I feel like now I'm back. And I'm really excited about the things that are coming this year and all of the ideas that I have. And I'm excited that you are coming along with me. Because I couldn't do it if you weren't. Yes, so that's it for today. Thank you for joining me. I hope you have a great weekend or week or day or night or whenever you're watching this. I hope your day is wonderful. I hope you get lots of knitting time in and reading and whatever else it is that you like to do, and family and friends and food. Anyways, thanks so much for joining me. Have a great day.